No, not yet.
Don't? Because I don't want to just, talk at you guys too if there's nothing of question or things.
I don't think I have questions about anatomy, except
Yeah.
I still don't understand abductor and adductor. But
Mixed up too.
Yeah.
I know, I always mix it up.
Well, I always think of adductor, you add the legs together, so they're on the inside. So adductors are on the inside, so you add them together. So that's what's always stuck for me. Some people use the letters, like the B is facing out. So like,
I never know which way the D and the B face. So.
D and B face away from each other, so they're on the outside.
That's why I use cursive.
Still. Oh yeah. All right. I'm pausing the recording. No, so yeah, adductor, I just like add the legs together so that's on the inside. That's probably I think it's the easiest way. So
my question was more revolving around, like, I don't even know what it is, motivation or, staying the course, getting sick of it, everyone or everything, and not.
Yeah. And it really, she suggested anatomy, so it doesn't have to be an anatomy question. It's really, the floor is open to, to whatever need be and wishing to discuss. So don't feel like it has to be on that end of things. So say a little bit more, can you clarify the question a little bit, or?
I know for me, like, especially now that the days are so short, like.
Yeah.
I think I'm a little tired.
Yeah. I'm tired, and by like 5 o'clock, I'm like done.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, if I haven't done something by that point, it's not gonna get done.
Yeah.
In terms of like exercise and,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, I think in this season, we do have to kind of honor the light or the lack of light, in the sense that it may be trying to adjust schedules so that, you are doing it sort of in the morning or the lunchtime. Because if we are really paying attention and honoring our circadian rhythm, and honoring what the season is, which is like, slowing down, being more, quieter for winter, then exercising after 5 or 6 or, after it's dark, that may not be congruent. Or it may be a matter of like, okay, that exercise may just be a slow walk. Like, it's not something of trying to get your oomph up. It may be really honoring, like, okay, I need to move, I need to do something, but respecting that it's dark, we should be winding down. So the movement that I'm doing is a winding down exercise, so that we're releasing the day, and still honoring our body, honoring movement, but also honoring, okay, it's winding down. So if it's something like, hey, I need some cardiovascular, I need something lively, that really needs to be happening probably in the morning or lunchtime, when those windows are. But yeah, and certainly understanding too, with that transition, and even though it seems small, well, not small, changing back to whatever standard time, it is like a shift.
Yeah.
We do have to be just like, okay, I'm a little tired. I'm, it's dark at 5, like, our body wants to shut down. We're, slower and everything. So it's like, okay, yeah, we do need to recalibrate. And I think, frankly, the other factor, the other elephant in the room, is that we have been on, I mean, and I know, Ray, you still are work-wise. I mean, both of you ladies, like, work-wise, there's always tremendous pressure, but the pressure around that, like the last 4 years of being, oh shit, and that maybe now, like, okay, there might be hope again. There might be, like, that's a big, like, I don't think we quite know what to do with it. And like, it's jubilation, but then it's also like, there's a low level of adrenaline that we've been dealing with for four plus years of, oh crap. And now that's like, oh, I might not have to be as fearful. So like we let the kind of the foot off the gas, and it's like, whoa,
Yeah.
What's really funny about that is that I'm seeing the other side of that.
Mm-hmm.
At work, we have a lot of Trump supporters.
Yeah.
Management wise, almost all management are, I am definitely the minority, and they're angry and they're upset and they stole the election. It's like, it's like hearing Fox News or whatever is even, because according to my boss, Fox News has moved to the left and is no longer a conservative.
Because they've acknowledged that Joe Biden is president.
Yeah.
Well, he was saying this even the week before the election. Like, he doesn't believe in Fox. They only have one news source. I forget what it is. But, and they're very upset, and they're worried that their houses are going to be taken away. And I'm like, what? And that their taxes are going up, and their all their freedoms are going to disappear. They're not going to be able to have their guns. It's like all these things are going to happen. And it's sort of like looking at, hey, that's where I was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And they were elated.
Yeah.
And well, I didn't know them 4 years ago, but I'm imagining. And here I am now on the other side of, wow, what a relief. And they're like, oh my God, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. And I might stand here and say, wow, you're really being unrealistic. That is not going to happen.
Yeah.
No one's putting your taxes up. No one's, do you make over $400,000? No one's doing this. And I guess it's just sort of seeing both sides.
Mm-hmm.
Like how this is where we were 4 years ago.
Yeah.
This is where you are now. It's like swap, and different fears, and for different reasons, but still fear.
Yeah.
Fear and anger and disbelief and not wanting to acknowledge the president. He's not my president. The same things a lot of people on our side were saying.
Yeah.
So it's just so funny to see it.
Yeah.
Like, if I weren't working here, I don't think I'd see it.
Yeah.
I don't know any of those people.
Yeah. Now I'm getting it from my parents. I just keep like deleting emails, and I haven't called them because I know I'm going to get hit with the world's coming to an end. And,
wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I would never think of that your parents to be that way.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know. I think then I have to start challenging my own assumptions, because you want to think everyone who votes for Trump is this, and they're not really all that. They've just maybe bought into some of that rhetoric, or bought into some of those false stories. Anyway.
And it is a reminder too. It's like, okay, it was a rough 4 years, but we survived. The world didn't come to an end. Just, it's like, it's the same, it came close. we teetered. But,
I don't think we know everything. I mean, I don't know all the stuff, like all the environmental things.
Ridiculous. I mean, ridiculous. But like, as far as your immediate day-to-day, getting up, going to work, just like them, their immediate, what they know, their day-to-day, getting up, going to work, do their job, get the groceries, come home. Like, that's, it's not, so there definitely is some other stuff that's gone off the rails, but yeah, finding that balance, or finding that empathy, I guess, in knowing where we were and seeing that in them. So
Yeah, it's kind of interesting to see that. Like the more that I meet with you guys, and the more that I think I'm opening more to the fact that wow, they really are the same as us. I mean, I know that sounds weird.
yeah,
It's
no,
not how I mean it, but
yeah,
it's like, wow, we are so on opposite ends of the political spectrum, or on opposite ends of ideology or spirituality or whatever it is, but God, we are exactly the same.
yeah,
Because there's fear and there's not fear. There's fear and there's love, and that's it. That's
yeah,
it. You know?
yeah,
And all of our actions come from one or the other. And
right,
that is really, really reinforcing itself with me lately.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And the challenging part is seeing that and recognizing it and understanding, like, okay, yeah, it is fear, and yeah, that's what I'm seeing. And yeah,
But I still want to punch him in the throat sometimes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because some of that is like, implicit racism. There's, I don't know if any of you guys, if you saw there was like a 2.5 minute thing from a commentator on CNN, and it was so poignant about freeing ourselves, like waking up and again acknowledging to the systemic racism and white supremacy, and that to acknowledge that and to finally free ourselves from that. He was basically making the assertion that every generation comes to that point of like, oh my gosh, is this who we are? Like, is this what we are? But yet never like really addressing it and moving through that. I think it was on Becky. I sent it to Becky, and then she posted on her personal Facebook page. It was just, it's like 2.5 minutes, but it was like, oh yeah, there's some powerful stuff. But anyway, so I know that's sort of off topic. You were going to say, Nicole?
Well, it's just something that my friend Lori said. So there's so last Tuesday, I had a Zoom meeting with Lori and Erin. So Lori and Erin are my two closest girlfriends. Lori, they're basically like, Lori is my sister for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
So, and when I talk about the kids, it's her kids.
Gotcha.
For the most part, because I know Maria was like, do you have kids? And I'm like, no, I
thought you did, because you kept always the kids. I thought they were yours.
My kids.
Kids. Okay.
But anyway, we were meeting because so Erin lives in Bethlehem, right across from the Brewworks. And she said Tuesday morning, there was a young Latino man out on the bridge there with his Biden Harris sign, and like, just trying to get people out to vote, and was, just doing a thing. Anyway, she said that someone had stopped his truck, came across stopped his truck in the middle of the road, got out, and physically assaulted this young man, like a much bigger person, spit in his face multiple times, and was like really physically like pushing him around to the point like another car stopped and a man got out to try to separate it. And then meanwhile, Erin had seen it out her window and had called the police, called 911, and the mounted police in Bethlehem were like right on Main Street, so they broke it up. But it just, like, that level of hate just really upset Erin. And she just is like, I need to talk about it. And, and she's like, I really used to believe in karma. Like, you put out good, you get good back. And Lori made the point that, can you imagine living life with that amount of anger? that you want to like stop your car in the middle of the road and get out and like physically abuse a kid just because he had a Biden Harris sign. Like that level of anger is punishment. You know, it's kind of like it's his own punishment to live like that.
Yeah.
To have that amount of anger and to choose to live with that amount of anger and that amount of hate is his own punishment. And I thought that that was just very an interesting perspective.
Yeah.
You know,
it is a prison to be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, it because I really do. I think it's a prison to hold on to that much hate and that much anger. Because like, and it's kind of comes down to fear and love again. And there,
because if you boil it down, you know, that anger is just a tremendous amount of fear.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I can understand having compassion for him. I don't know that I have empathy because I really can't understand how that feels too much, but certainly compassion, but I still think he needs to be held accountable.
Yeah.
And I mean, the poor kid, you know,
Yeah.
and then at work today, I had two instances, the one because I couldn't make the earlier call, and then one right as I was leaving. So actually, I almost didn't make the call. Like I just got here on time. One was a Latino girl and one was Black, and they came in and they felt as if, I guess they felt I was challenging them, which a little bit I was, but it was just trying to get them to do the proper procedure. Both of them walking away, ignoring me, like totally disregarding and disrespecting the fact that I was even there, and having to hold them accountable for that.
Yeah.
And both of them using the race card.
Yeah.
You know, as if that's why I'm doing it.
Right.
And I have to examine that and I'm supposed to give that credence, even though I know that that's not why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because I'm standing there as the security person saying, no, everybody puts their bag on the x-ray machine, not just you.
Yeah.
I didn't wait here for you to walk through and say, like, it's just, but every single thing at work that anyone in management does, and it doesn't seem to matter what the race of the management person is.
Yeah.
This race card is still always pulled up. And it's, so what is that? Like, how do you deal with that? Like, because I don't want to be that person, but yet I'm like, no, that's not.
Yeah, that's not what I'm doing here.
Yeah.
You're targeting me. No.
Yeah.
Well, you've brought, you're not supposed to bring your cell phone in. You know that. You've brought it in every single time I've stood here.
Yeah.
So maybe now that I see you again, I might say, wonder if you have your cell phone. Like, am I targeting you?
Yeah.
Well, I am, but that's from previous behavior.
Yeah, I think unfortunately, like it's an incredible onus on you, because it's not right, but this is this has been a learned and probably proven. I mean, like if it's generationally, it has nothing to do with you, right? It like generationally happened. There's also like a level of learned helplessness as well that you're facing, and so I don't know the answer. Whoa.
Sorry.
Like on a rock there.
Whoa.
You're like Louise.
Yeah, I mean, so I think it's probably is like continually saying, but I'm sure like if you've faced that your whole life, and or you're just seeing everybody around you, or that's a component of learned helplessness. Then that's what gets thrown in there. So
because especially with the one this evening, the Latino woman, she has learned, or she knows that if she just yells loud enough, she'll get her way.
mm-hmm.
And like, I'm like baffled about what to do, but that's sort of transgressing from my original question, which was about motivation.
Yes. I mean, this is important things though, like, 'cause
I know.
Yeah.
I thankfully don't have to deal with that on a day-to-day basis, but there was one instance where someone at work actually accused me of being racist, like went to my boss and like said, like, Nicole is being racist towards me. I asked for assistance and she refused to give it to me.
Oh.
And I know the person that did it. His name is Tito. He's Indian. And he had come to ask me a question 5 minutes before a meeting that I was trying to prepare for, because it was a meeting that I didn't know about until, like, it was a last minute meeting and it was with upper management. And so I was really trying to just prepare for my meeting. And when he came and asked for my assistance, I'm like, and I told him that, I'm like, I have a meeting in 5 minutes. I'm trying to prepare. I'll help you, in an hour and 5 minutes. And he just kept like bulldozing me till I like finally answered it. But I answered it and like, I had attitude, and I'm sure that I did, because I was annoyed.
Yeah.
It was nothing at all to do with his race.
Yeah.
And it floored me.
Yeah.
Like having that kind of thing like thrown in your face.
Yeah.
I can only imagine how you feel, Rhea, because it happened once to me, and eventually he pulled back and it was like, well, yeah, it wasn't probably about race, but like she treats other people better than this. And I was like, well, anyone that had come to me at that point would have gotten the same reaction.
Yeah.
Not just you.
Anyone who was persistent.
Yes.
Yeah.
At that point. Yeah.
Like, if someone had said, okay, I'll see you at 10:05 or whatever, because it's like a 9 a.m. meeting. And I'm like,
yeah.
Well, as soon as I'm done,
Yeah.
and then they just, and I was like,
yeah.
I fully expect to go in tomorrow and to find that this woman has raised a corporate concern against me for this incident, which I'm going to, after this call, be a little bit proactive and call her manager and explain to him what happened, so that at least I'm covered a little bit.
Yeah.
But, it is, because she has complained about me before. She has done a corporate complaint, which floored me, because I never ever thought that anyone would have, like you're saying, Nicole, like, how could anyone complain about you? Like, you're so wonderfully nice. I could understand more me, because I'm not as wonderfully nice, but like every single time it happens, it just like just takes me so far back. Like, what?
Yeah, it really, like, it makes you really second guess yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And despite the fact that that your intentions are pure, like, it really just makes you like, wait a minute, am I doing something like some subconscious, racism? Because like, that's like, I could see something, that could have happened, we learn things as we grow up, but like, I can see my mom again, she's not racist, but I can hear a couple of things that she says now and then that she had growing up. Like, she's a lot better than she was 10 years ago, but every once in a while she'll say something and it'd be just like,
sure. You're like, Mom, you can't say that.
Yeah.
Why? It's true. No.
As she's like, when I say that, she's like, oh, yeah, but it's just like, like the whole, like, her, it's Oriental and not Asian.
Yeah.
So it's like, but that's what she grew up on. And, and like, sometimes it's hard to change habit. Yeah. So like, that's what it made me do. And like, it made me really kind of look to see if I had something like that going on. And, I think for me at the time, I had been going through a divorce. and just starting to deal with a lot of the pain stuff. And so I was very angry.
Yeah.
And so I think that my first reaction was to just go to anger.
Yeah.
And where now I don't, it's like I step back and, and just, anyway, it's just, I think that we all learn as we progress in life. And I think just the fact that you're talking about it, Rhea, and the fact that that you're able to acknowledge the fact that we're all like people, and it's all fear and love, and like just the Trumpers are now in a state of fear versus whatever.
I don't know what it would take for all of us to be in a state of love.
I know.
Can you imagine? Like, there would be no wars, there would be no, we're talking about actual peace where everyone would, but how can that happen? Because everyone wants such different things, or has such different goals or different ideas.
Question for ages. I mean, John Lennon wrote a freaking song about it.
Yeah. Well, just because women need to rule the world, or women need to lead, because it's the idea. We're still in a patriarchal idea of what if I have more, you have less. Yeah. So it is. We can have different ideas and different goals. It's not the same. It's a bigger pie. Not if my slice is bigger, I'm gonna dominate. I think that's we start getting to bigger issues, or
but I agree.
Bigger, a shift in cooperation versus competition. Yeah. In the sense is like, you can still strive and be your best and all those things, and not at the expense of someone else, and that, I think that's not at the expense of another company, or not, you may do UPS may do a better job and they rise, and the other companies may fall by the wayside, but there's not an overt, I'm going to destroy the competition kind of thing,
Oh, that is what UPS does, though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, if there was a shift in that, hey, if we're doing our best and we rise, and then that's a different mindset, right? That's a different business model. Then I'm going to crush you. Yeah. And that's the haves, the have-nots. That's scarcity thinking. That's all of that's, I think that's patriarchy.
It's even like the restoration space, bringing all these people together and trying to do a cooperative whole health system, rather than saying, oh, we can't bring Susan over here because she's our competition. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that would just never happen with UPS. There's no way. The only way we're cooperating with someone is if we're getting something out of it, like major. And pretty much we'll just buy you out and slap a UPS label on you. And that way, you can be part of us. You're either part of us or you're not. Yeah. You're either our customer or our competition. Yeah. It's like,
right. You're either with us or against us. I mean, look at what has risen to the top. Oh, Maureen is joining. Do we let her in?
Ask her who she voted for.
Ask if
all right, I'm gonna add her in.
A little perspective, Rhea. So
is it okay if I add her in? Or do you want me to pause? Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. So and hi Mo. So we're kind of in the middle of a discussion, so you'll just have to kind of bear with us. But
bear with us where we are.
Yeah. So in my immediate organization, our current leader is a woman, and her name is Gail, and the previous leader is Dhanendra. He was a man, and just their styles of management So different. Like Tanendra used to focus on everyone's their weakest attribute, what they were, wherever they were weakest. And he would focus on that. And it would, no matter what you did everywhere else, if you had one thing that you were bad at, and it came, especially to review time, that's what he focused on, especially if it was something that had just happened and it was very fresh in his mind. Whereas Gail, she tries to focus on people's strengths, and she puts people in roles where they can excel, and it's just, like that perspective of leadership is just so rare to find. And it's one of the reasons I've stayed with Olympus as long as I have, because if the Nendro had still been there, I would not be there. Like, I was miserable under this guy because he had been promising me promotion. I was working harder than every other guy, and it was every other male. I was, and it just was like, I was like banging my head against a wall, where, and it was like, his mentality was, you're going to do it my way. And if you're not going to do it my way, then you're going to leave, and I'm going to be mean to you until you do leave so that we don't have to pay you severance. So it just reminds me a little bit of like someone, like you said, with the UPS mentality.
Well, that is playing out in our organization right now. We have what we call old school, which was his way. And we have like the new leadership model coming in, which happens to have happened that we have our first female CEO that was just brought on this year. And this old style versus new leadership style is kind of battling it out right now. And we still have a lot of old timers who their way of management is screaming and yelling and pointing out your faults. And the new management style coming in with the millennials, and it's interesting to see that playing out and how that looks and how that might turn out. But it is definitely a battle.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's still a battle now. I mean, and Gail has been in charge now for like 4 years, and there's still like a couple of the old white dudes, as I call them.
Yeah.
Because that's what I mean, and it's like that alone is probably kind of, a little bit racist, but at the same time, it's like
you are. That's reverse racism.
Reverse racism. They're all three of them are white, and they're all in their like late 50s or early 60s, and they all treat, Yeah. I mean, it's not.
Well, I think the line becomes, or what we hope to get to is not, the female leadership is the, like, taking the best aspects of male leadership and the best aspects of female leadership and utilizing those. That becomes, what the model should be. And yeah, some of that is cooperation, the level of there can be competition, but like we're saying, not to the detriment, or purposeful detriment of someone or another organization to like I'll crush you. So yeah, that's so. I mean, I think it's interesting times, and certainly, yeah, the generations shifting perspectives. So yeah, you came in on an interesting.
Interesting.
So yeah, it started off, to recap, we were talking about feeling fatigue and with the change in time and getting dark earlier and getting tired at 5 or 6 and kind of saying, I was saying, we're going into winter, and winter is that time of a bit more hibernation, and in some aspects we do need to honor that. And so, and the other thing is, whenever there is a time change, our body is adjusting, so it is going to be more fatigued. And so not to just fight through that, but say, okay, I'm honoring that. I might get a little bit more rest, or my body might be requiring more of that rest, but also not necessarily doing high intensity things after the sun is set, and really kind of honoring that. So we honor our sleep cycles and honor our bodies. But within that, then we kind of got onto topic of just the overall energy that's everyone's been dealing with, and tension, and kind of having that maybe shift or feel it more or feel it less, but just that is exhausting. Yeah.
The unknown is always what drives people crazy, I think.
Yeah, absolutely exhausting. And so, yeah, Ray was kind of sharing some of her challenges within her organization. And
what's your organization, Raya?
I work for UPS. So we've been kind of considered essential this whole COVID time, and we've actually been working more, sort of hitting peak levels of packages going through our buildings and hiring more and more people, and it's just been really kind of crazy. But could we go back to that topic of motivation and sort of like, I know you're saying to honor the time change and to honor your thing, but I need to honor less and demand more. Like, how do I get to?
Okay, I was talking to Nicole. I was addressing Nicole. Now to address you. But I think it does go within that, in that line of knowing that you've already witnessed or felt doing that Thursday morning, getting that stretch in before to start your day, before the day can get away from you. That is the idea of like bringing that exercise or whatever, that activity into the morning and getting that as your first order of business, so that you don't even have a chance to make a decision of, should I exercise this morning or not? That it's like, oh, okay, 7 o'clock. I roll out of bed and okay, that's the deal.
On Wednesday nights, I wear my gym clothes to bed, so I have no excuse. I just roll out and work out.
Well, so
that's what I do.
Okay.
That's great.
So I don't roll over and say, oh, I'm not even dressed. How could I turn the computer on and see Susan? It's like, I'm already dressed. I have no excuse.
So, yeah. So, I mean, then it is, if that's something that works, then you can see, to put it at the end of your day is too unscripted. It's too unknown to say, oh, well, yeah, I'm going to leave by 7 o'clock tonight, and then I'm going to get or I'm going to leave at 5, and then I'm going to get a workout, because any emergency can happen, and then you're stuck. And then now that you've not held up your word, and now that integrity muscle weakens, and it starts, so then your word doesn't have any value. So it is a matter of building up the strength of that integrity muscle. And it's making those promises that you can absolutely do, rather than saying, hey, I know you're all or nothing, and I'm going to do it 5 days, but if we do 4 out of 5, our integrity muscle then says we failed. Even though we did 4 more than we would have, we've now just weakened that. So if it's saying, okay, gosh darn it, I'm there through Thursday. I know I just wear clothes Wednesday night, which I love, and now I'm going to be cracking up every Thursday morning.
If you see the wrinkles, just ignore it.
Hey, Ray, your shirt's on inside out. But it's okay. It's Tuesday and Thursday, come hell or high water. Like, so Monday night, I have to wear my gym clothes, and, it's It is pressing the button. I know it's not, you know, just say that I'm live and you do the whatever, the stretch
Yeah.
class or the 30-minute class. But so it's like, it has to be Tuesday, Thursday, you know, or Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, like that. It's, you absolutely, no matter what. And so that's the first, I would say that's the first thing. It's like, what can I absolutely, but, and I think for you, it's understanding like schedule wise later in the day, who knows?
I always fool myself and think when I wake up, oh, I'll do it later. And
yeah. Well, but that's been proven. So it's not a matter of motivation. You're putting yourself behind the 8 ball if by saying, oh, I'll do it later. And it does set yourself up for failure and breaking down your word and your self-worth, because like, oh, I blew it again. But really, that's just not a real opportunity for you to succeed. The odds are it's gonna like work against you, that something's gonna happen, you know, that you're gonna get stuck there late. And frankly, I don't know if, you know, to be coming home and, you know, working out at 9 o'clock at night, you know, that may not be the best idea really, but I know I can get 7 to 7:30, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, whatever that you, and there too, don't set yourself up like, oh, I'm going to do it every day. You know, like let's start off with, okay, I can do Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday for sure. And I absolutely, hell or high water. And that may mean like, okay, Tom's calling me, you know, okay, I've just got to keep plugging through, and I'll call him right, you know, at 7:30 or, you know, whatever that might be. Does that make sense? Yeah. Cause you're by leaving it after, it's not a matter of your lack of motivation. That's just like, you're exhausted and you put in a 14-hour day. Like that's not like, oh, I'm weak, I'm a failure. It's like, that's just not the right time for you to be training. That's not the right time for you to be working out. That's not creating success for you.
Yeah.
Does anyone else want to?
Yeah, no, I think it's a good idea. And, you know, something for me, because for me, I struggle more with my diet than I do with my exercise. And so one of the things that we started doing to try to help, again, set yourself up for success is, and tonight was one of those nights. So like my lunch, I do like spring mix with grilled chicken and, you know, some other veggies and things in it. But, you know, I never want to have the excuse where I don't have chicken, because the chicken, you know, that protein helps to fill me up. So what I do, I get the club pack of chicken from pre-marinated from Wegmans. I cook all 8 chicken breasts. I chop it all up and I have chicken for 2 weeks. And it's, you know, in the fridge or in the freezer. And so it's done.
Yeah.
You know, so that I don't have that excuse that there, you know, I don't have any chicken today. All right. So I'm going to order pizza or, you know,
sort of a protein.
I'll get just it's order takeout versus eating a salad, you know.
Right. Yeah, it's the little step on the front end that just makes success. It's what are the, like we were talking about another time, like what are the, I just lost my train of thought. What
kind of the steps for success.
Yeah. Like, okay, trying to go after work doesn't work. Okay, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to cook off chicken. I have no excuse. I mean, that's not, I have no excuse. That sets me up for success. Because let's reframe it, right? You know, let's reframe it as that sets me up for success. What do I need to do to get more movement into my week? Okay, after work doesn't work. What do I need to do to make Tuesday happen? That's all I need to focus on right now. So what do I need to do to make Tuesday morning happen? Okay, wear the clothes the night before. That worked for Thursday. Great. Set my alarm. You know, like what do I need to make that happen and to create the success that there's less of an opportunity to like, oh, I've lined it all up. Now I roll out of bed. You know, it's having the computer on the thing. It's having the mat and boom. And yes, you committed to Mo and Nicole and Susan. So, well, I didn't hear the commitment yet, but.
Let me see if it fits on my dream board.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, you'll be proud too, Nicole. I spent all day Sunday. I went to the grocery store and I got all the, food for the week like I normally do.
Mhm.
And then Susan said, I think it was last week, you said you should do some roasted vegetables. So I got all these vegetables and I chopped them all and I put them in their each little baggie and I threw them in the refrigerator because by the time I was finished chopping, I was too tired to cook. So I've got like a whole shelf of raw vegetables, but that's great, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and if you feel like it at any point, you can either throw it in the pan or
Right.
you can throw it in the oven and you are set. But otherwise though, you do have, boom, it's ready and good to go. So that's
my sister, when her kids were younger and still at home, she used to put this big table in the living room and on Sundays throw a whole table of vegetables and everyone would chop vegetables while they were watching the football game. That was their thing. Like, and they're like, I would say I would be afraid to have that many knives in the room with a football game going
dangerous. On. Like score! Oh.
Oh, when I was living by myself, I did that. Like on Sunday, I would do make something big, and so that I would have leftovers during the week for my evening meals because that was always a struggle for me.
But you weren't cutting while you're watching the Steelers, though. There was no.
I wouldn't take pauses during, those red zone type things.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Any thoughts there, Mel? Did you have any wisdom? No, she's just.
Oh, definitely no wisdom.
I have to tell you, Snoopy right now is one of my major motivations to get out and walk every day because he does not let me forget to take him out and walk. He comes and he's used to us going. We were going in the heat of the summer. I'd have to take him out early in the morning because he's 15 and he couldn't handle a mid-afternoon walk because it was just too hot for him. Yeah. But now that it's dark in the morning, we go a little later, but let me tell you, man, he's not used to it. So he comes and he bugs my elbow, nudges my elbow every half an hour. Come on, Mom, let's go. Come on.
I got hooked on Audible books recently with this book club that I'm in. And I look forward to the book as much as I do my walk every morning.
Yeah.
So, and if I'm not listening to the book and I put music on that really plays into my enthusiasm and I end up jogging, not really running at a fast pace, but jogging. So between music and Audible, that is just such a great way for me to start my day.
Yeah. And that's a great, that's a great idea too, to supplement that in a sense of the reward, that I'm going to listen to the Audible and take, I can listen to Audible if I'm taking a walk, or that's a good marriage. Thank you. Yeah. That's the word. So yeah, kind of link those two up. But yeah, that's super helpful. Cool. Is that somewhat helpful?
Mhm. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. Cool. Good. So yeah, we are around to 8 o'clock. Yeah.
I'm gonna
Oh,
go.
but what about anatomy?
I know we got sidestep there, and I know Mo came on a little later, but
So sorry I was late.
no, that's okay. That's okay. I think, I know we didn't cover the muscle stuff yet, but I hope the other discussion was important and helpful, and
I enjoyed listening to it.
yeah. See what's happening in the world, and all is okay in your world. You're back home, yes? Or you're not?
Me,
Yeah.
yes, I am back home. Yeah.
Where's home, Mo?
Home is Whitehall.
Excellent.
But she's been doing some work on a new home.
My husband and I bought a condo in Southwest Florida, which is under torrential rainpour right now. But my 93-year-old father lives there, and I bought a condo in his building. And I have 5 brothers and sisters, and we all just, want to be as close to him as we can be, which drives him crazy, but we love it. He's such a cool guy. He is an inspiration to me. He is outside every morning with his Bose headset on, listening to his music, walking every single day.
Wow.
Phenomenal.
And he's sharp as a tack.
Phenomenal.
Played tennis 6 days a week until just about a year or two ago.
Wow.
So I want to be just like him, Susan.
Yeah, we're working on it. We are working on it. So yeah, I love it. I mean, and that is inspiration. But yeah, it's creating those habits, and they're not always fun, and it's not always, it's really just making it automatic. There's a woman, her name escapes me. She's had some stuff on YouTube. She has a couple books out there, but her big thing is she does a countdown, and I'll find out what her name is. But she, instead of like going, I'm going to do something after I count down 1, 2, 3. It's like clinically proven, like the counting down does something to the brain. So it's like you have like 3, 2, 1, and then you go. Like so you don't. It's not even. It's like you just. So you're laying in bed and it's 3, 2, 1, and you have to get up. So that countdown gets you into, because otherwise you can continue, counting up, or I'll wait another 5 minutes. I'll do something. I'm going to roll over, and it's really making that decision. 3, 2, 1, and decide. 3, 2, 1, and go. I'll get that.
It reminds me of our spaceships, when they go up and down, when they launch, it's always a countdown.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even the new year is a countdown.
Yeah, exactly. So it's that idea that it takes you out of the pause mentally to find an excuse to say, well, you know what, I really am tired. Oh, well, I had a rough night last night. Well, I don't, I didn't make the chicken or whatever. It gets you that 3, 2, 1, and it kind of switches the brain. So, if that's something to, tomorrow I'll look her, she's got a TED Talk as well. That it might be just like, again, whatever tools that we can utilize. Right. It's not a flaw. It's not a weakness. It's what do we do to just support the success? What do we do to keep supporting that movement forward?
I'm all about the tools, because they only work for me for a little while, and then I have to do a different tool because I just know how I am. I get like, I have to play these games. So like I've been reading a lot about habits, and I've been reading different books and different sources, and trying to create those better habits, and get like doing just different tricks to help with both the movement and the nutrition piece, because for me they're very much hand in hand. When I'm doing well, I'm doing well, and when I'm not, I'm really not.
Yeah.
So and it's just getting back on that. I don't know, it's like it used to be when I was younger, it used to be easier to reset and move forward. And I feel like as I've gotten older, it's like, harder. It's harder to move.
And 10 times harder.
Yeah. Like,
I'm here to tell you.
I already lost 50 pounds. Why do I want to do it again? Like, I don't know. It's just, I don't know. So I'm constantly, so if you could send that, that would be great, because I'm constantly trying to tweak and learn and do, but it's taking it from knowing and actually implementing and actually consistently doing. That's the word, consistently doing it, because as soon as I get off that rocker, getting back on, it's getting harder and harder and harder. So I feel like if I can just stay consistent, it would be better. But my world is not consistent, so
Right.
I never know when I'm working or when I'm not, or when I'm
and that's the thing, because the rest of that world is so inconsistent. It
has to be
setting some things up that you really have good control over, and so that regardless of what spins out in the rest of the day, okay, I put these things in place. So I got my exercise in, I put my meal together, so at least I've got that in the back pocket, and you can feel good about that and get some momentum on that. So
I like scheduling little celebrations for myself. Like if I've had a good week, I'm all about the rewards. And I used to tell my kids there's a difference between a bribe and reward. A reward I give to you after you have proven yourself or done what you were asked to do. A bribe, I give it to you before I get the elicited behavior I want. So I'm all about rewards, and I'm all about rewarding myself. So the other night after the election, and I'm telling you, I had so much invested in this election that I rewarded myself with margaritas and ice cream for dinner.
Nice.
I'm just telling you the truth, and it felt great.
That's awesome.
that is amazing.
Like maybe one.
Did they go together well? You didn't have an upset tummy?
The next morning, it was not good. At the moment, it was so good. I was willing to sacrifice the next morning. I got my walk in the next morning, though.
Right.
Didn't stop me from walking.
Yeah. Because that's been an ingrained, like,
It's not optional.
It's not an option. Exactly. And that's what it's come to now. That's what it, we work towards that it's not an option, but right now it's not strong enough for you yet. So we work towards Mo's like it's not an option. But I do love that, the reward, the reward or celebration, I did some great stuff, and what would be some like a little celebration things for you that may be
my problem is my celebration is always food.
Well, but that's where it's looking like what's a different celebration. Yeah, that it's not, is it a massage? Is it or is it, I don't know.
the one woman that I read a lot of, Gretchen Rubin, talks about the evil donut bringers who bring donuts to the office. And she's like, she calls them the evil donut bringers. And she's like, you know, I've given them so many other options of things that they can bring. And somebody said to her, well, we don't want to bring raw vegetables, like, so they'll bring like stickers, or they just have this, she has like a whole list of different ways of things you can bring to the office to share with people, or ways that you can reward yourself that have nothing to do with evil donuts. So
that reminds me that I worked for an insurance agency, and we dealt with about 60 different insurance companies, and the company representatives would stop in every other week, and they were in the habit of they'd stop at Panera and then they would come to HMK. And we asked them on several occasions to stop bringing in unhealthy foods. And it had a minor impact, but so my boss decided to take things in his own hands. This is David, Linda.
Yes, I know. He tells me about it all the time.
And he would go to Wegmans and he would get a couple bunches of bananas and a bowl of tangerines, and he would set them out in the same room on the table next to the junk food. And at least, people had options when they walked in.
Yeah. And
That's
then
awesome.
He told me that he would go in and just throw the junk food away.
I didn't see him do that too much, but.
I guess, yeah, he might have, maybe did it a little, little covertly.
Yeah, actually, at the end of the day, because he oftentimes was one of the last people to leave, he would take the liberty of throwing anything out that was in there that wasn't healthy.
Gotcha. Oh, yeah. So maybe that was it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It was like, cool. Good. Yay.
When's our next coaching call?
The next coaching call is in 2
The
weeks,
24th
and it's on a Tuesday,
at 1.
the 24th at 1 o'clock. And we can certainly talk a little anatomy then if that works. So yeah, thanks for bringing that stuff up, Ray. I think it was some good, that's what this is about too. What may be more pressing and of need.
Especially with the last week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're all kind of, rebounding, and, it's a lot of energy, a lot of emotion, and a lot of stuff that, still shifting around. So
I just think the next layer of that for me, the next release will be when they say, okay, we've got the COVID cure or whatever it is, because that is something that, I live with on a daily basis, that has that. I like to say I no longer face each day with fear, but it's sort of in the back of your mind constantly. The fact that I have so much contact with people that, even though you're wearing masks and everything, it's just in the back of your mind constantly. I just wish, I can't wait for that to be over.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah.
But
Well, there is news of the vaccine showing 90% success. So I think so.
That was
Oh,
good.
I saw also this article, or maybe it was a news thing about Thanksgiving, and they were talking about how to minimize your risks, and saying, just about talking with family. But one of the things they said is to get your flu shot now, because it needs at least 2 weeks to kick in. And if you're going to be near any people, it's good to already have that flu shot, so that if you do experience symptoms, you know that it's probably not the flu. It's like, what? I don't know. That's just what they were saying. Like, get that flu shot, and start to, if you're thinking of getting together for Thanksgiving with people, to take these next 2 weeks, the 2 weeks before Thanksgiving, and quarantine, and make sure everybody's doing that. And, I don't know. It was just interesting to hear the list of things to do to be a little safer if you want to be with family.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're not doing Thanksgiving.
Tonight that the FDA gave emergency approval to something, just tonight.
Oh, just tonight.
Really?
Okay, that might be the Pfizer
Yeah.
one. Yeah, it's showing. Yeah.
Well, no, they did the antibody,
Oh, testing.
no, the, with the blood cells. The,
Oh, the
take-
yes.
blood
It's
cells
the
from someone-
treatment that Trump got.
Oh, yes. Gotcha. Yeah,
The cocktail.
plasma.
plasma, blood plasma. Yeah.
Blood plasma transfusion, like taking it from someone that has had it, that has the antibodies in the blood, and giving it to the person so that they can stimulate
Yeah.
the healing in the
Yeah.
attacking the virus or whatever.
Is that what Trump got? I thought he got a cocktail.
He did. That was just part of his cocktail.
That's part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody kind of froze.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. I
Well-
think you froze, right?
It's frozen.
Are you frozen? Yeah. But yeah, I saw that, yeah, vaccine was showing 90% success rate, but it has to finish a 2-month safety, and that might be like the end of November. So it's not, and they've already been stockpiling. But
Did you happen to watch the 60 Minutes report on the vaccine?
Yeah, I did.
I thought that was really well done. I forget what they call the operation, warp speed or something like that.
Yeah.
And it sounds very promising, but that when they asked the head guy what his biggest fear was, he said that we'll have this vaccine, we'll get it delivered, and
And
people are going to be afraid to get it.
Yeah.
Because you can't force people.
Yeah. 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 Well, it is a little daunting to think of, without any long-term studies.
Or
So-
yeah, put your kids in line to get it.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but we shall see, right? We shall see. One day at a time, we move forward, we continue onward and upward, and one step at a time. So I'm grateful of you ladies coming on tonight and
Well, thank you.
sharing your wisdoms
Yeah.
and your thoughts and insights and stuff. And yeah, and we'll reconvene. Maybe we'll see you tomorrow. Maybe I'll see you, Mo. I know Nicole's going to be on a walk. And Ray, what's your plan tomorrow?
My plan is always to join you, Susan, and that plan normally gets debunked once I'm at work, but I don't know. I'll try to be there. But even if I can't make it there, 7 a.m.
Are you committing to that? Wait, are you committing to that?
Not yet.
It has to be
Yes.
like, it has to be, I absolutely.
I have to see what my schedule is tomorrow morning after this call. My mom
Okay.
needs a ride somewhere, but I don't think it's until later. So yes, I am absolutely committing to tomorrow morning workout.
Okay,
First thing.
great. Awesome. Yay.
I used to do 5 a.m., Rhea. That was my,
Oh, that's wrong.
Yeah, you and my sister. That's just crazy.
No.
She's the lunatic in the family, not
even
me.
Susan's like, no.
Oh. All right. Well, awesome. Well, you ladies have a great night.
Thank you.
Hugs to all of you. Sleep well.